put a different piston in. This is the one that was in there. I wasn't really cool with this one. The little pins for the rings were not very pronounced. They were kind of high. They're high up on here. And it has a little shallow dome. I'll put this one in here off my buddy's old motor. It has way more pronounced dome on it. The rings are a little lower, just a hair lower. It has the same piston hole, same height there, but that little door is a little bit shorter. I really don't think that's gonna be making. It probably would, but whatever. I'm gonna leave it like that. The thickness of the piston was a lot thicker than that. This bearing, where this wrist pin goes through here, the bearing can move back and forth and have a lot of play. Well, whatever the kind of piston this was, required a little bit narrower bearing. A little narrower. This one has more bearings, which I kind of liked, but it was narrower than the one that come out of here. But this piston close that up just a little bit. That bearing can move around. I don't understand why the bearing on the wrist pin has so much play. There is nothing in there to keep that bearing from traveling left and right on that pin. I don't get that. I'm seeing a lot of mechanical things, but I thought that was crap. So I initially chose this piston solely on the fact that it has less travel for the bearing. And the piston rings are a little down lower. It looks like it'd grab that piston a little bit better inside the cylinder. And I have a dome. I got a lot more dome to it. So we're gonna go with that. So I gave myself a little performance improvement. Mentioned before, I probably shouldn't be putting any high compression anything on it. So, but I have this old pull off. And it's looking like I'm pretty much clearing with that gasket. It doesn't come all the way up, but I think it's pretty good. I'm liking it. And I might, in fact, have a problem. What my problem is with the ringing is I was so proud of myself thinking I was going to do this tensionless, no tensioner on a chain setup here. And when I put it on the bike, it looked pretty good. It looked like that. But now it's stretched out. And I pulled it too. I can't shorten it up with a half link. While I was there, I can show you what I did with a chain lockup. I didn't put screws in it. I JB welded it. I probably should put screws in it. But what I think is happening, when that chain is loose, well, come on, focus. It's dragging across that. And you can kind of see it on that. So that ring I'm hearing might just be the chain dragging across my case. So in the process of building a bike, I decided, with all these different things I was doing, I ended up using my bracket for the chain tensioner as a solid mount back here, a bushing basically, a shim for the back part of the engine to get this ideal length. Now, I don't have the bracket for a tensioner. I have to go buy another tensioner or dig around more of my parts. Somewhere in there I'll have something that I could use to bolt up a tensioner, but I didn't want to do that. I could use a spring tensioner, yada yada. So after I put this together, probably not a good idea for me to run this because the chain's loosening up. It's stretched. And now I'm kind of got myself in a corner over the lack of a tensioner. But that's what I did. Oh, throw it down. That's what I did. Ended up changing the piston out. something that looks a lot more favorable. The rings, the piston, that's all doing really good with this in this bucket now. I like it. Well, so far, I mean, I hadn't even bolted up